I've got Jacques Wenceler of Black Elephant Vintners, and he brought me some wine. Jacques, thanks for making the time to come and show off your product. I'm looking forward to tasting it. I have tasted some of it before. Well, I've given you the dish. You know what we were cooking, and that's why you brought these two wines. Can you tell me more about them, please?
Yeah, with pleasure. Thanks for having us. I brought you two wines. The first one is Two Dogs, a Peacock and a Horse Sauvignon Blanc, 100% Franschhoek origin. I specifically brought this wine because Sauvignon can be typically difficult to pair with food, but I think Franschhoek has got quite a unique terroir for making Sauvignon Blanc, and I think our wines tend to be a bit more neutral. We've got quite balanced natural acidity, and that tends to work quite well with food. We try and make a wine that's more food friendly. We pick our grapes at optimal ripeness, and we blend in about 5% barrel fermented Semillon, which adds a nice sort of floral character to the wine, and it should work well with the curry.
You know, it's actually sometimes difficult to pair wine with curry. I know normally people recommend fruity wines or even Semillon, but I'm quite surprised how well the two actually go together.
Yeah.
You know, the wine still stands out. The curry doesn't kill the wine at all, and the wine doesn't really change the flavor of the curry much. Tell me about the second one.
The second one I brought is also 100% Franschhoek origin. It's a blend of basically the same Sauvignon Blanc that you tasted now. Plus, yeah, you can go. Sorry. It's about 58% Sauvignon Blanc, 33% Semillon, and 9% Viognier. So the Sauvignon adds a lot of freshness to the wine. The Semillon brings that floral richness, and the Viognier got this crazy exotic flavor that I think should pair quite well with the curry again. But a wine that's a lot more complex. It's got a rich sort of waxy feel, and I think it cleans your palate after the spice that the curry brings.
So Viognier is used quite a lot in blends.
Yes.
But I've only noticed this in the last sort of like, well, maybe 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Have we grown it? Have we always grown Viognier, especially in Franschhoek?
I think there's been plantings for the last sort of 10 or 12 years of Viognier. So the vineyards are maybe coming into their own. They're reaching some maturity. It's quite a difficult grape to grow. It's sort of a hippie. It falls all over the place. And South Africa, because of our climate, I think we need to pick the stuff quite ripe, so you end up with wines with quite high alcohols. Now, the classic Viogniers from Condroz in France have got lower alcohols with good acidity. And I think with the maturity of our vines at the moment, we're starting to get there. It's a fantastic grape to work with because it's got all these wild aromatics. You know, you've got apricot, you've got peaches, you've got almost like a biltong spice, wet meat with the floral and wax that it brings on your mouth. So it's a cool grape to work with, and obviously it pairs pretty well with Shiraz as well if you do co-fermentations, that perfume that it brings to the wine. Franschhoek itself, Viognier is not quite a common variety. I think there's about maybe 5, maximum 10 hectares planted. We try and get it right. I try and make a wine of about 12.5 to 13% alcohol, not more than that. We do the wine very naturally, so we don't add any additives to the wine. We do whole bunch fermentations, and we use old barrels, so it's all about the fruit and not the French forest.
Listen, I really love this as well. I mean, it's like you said, it's quite on the nose, quite floral, almost tropical in a way for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you which one I prefer yet. I want to talk about you and, I mean, the business. Interesting labels, especially on the Sauvignon Blanc. What was the idea behind the labels and the names?
Yeah, I think the typical thing in South Africa to do, or the typical thing to do would be to call everything Black Elephant Vintners, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, Pinotage, whatever, but then the story would be over right about now. So we like to do things a bit differently, and people always ask about, well, what is your flagship wine? We don't have a flagship wine. We've got 7 or 9 wines at the moment, and each wine stands on its own. It's got its own personality, and we believe in Franschhoek. Everything we do is 100% Franschhoek. So we like design as well. We like creating stuff. And something like the Two Dogs label, 2 dogs, a peacock and a horse. Everybody asks about the story about the name, but it's actually, there's no story behind the name. It's a random coming together of animals. A lot of other brands in South Africa use the elephants and the long necks and stuff. This is just a bunch of animals coming together. But there is quite a lot of going on the label itself. We've obviously, being in Franschhoek, we've got the Franschhoek heritage, or the French heritage. So we like to use this Y on all our branding. So that's a reference to the Eiffel Tower. If you turn the bottle this way, that's the South African flag.
Yeah, nice.
The crest is actually very, very French, and the 2 dogs, a peacock and a horse, is hidden there. And then we've got the Dutch gable on the side, if you turn it that way. So there's a bit of a story going there.
That's very clever. And also the actual name, Black Elephant Vintners, that's also got a story, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
so with 3 guys that started the business, Kevin Swart, that's black, Raymond Ndlovu, that's the elephant, and I'm the vintner. Wenzel doesn't necessarily suit, so I'm the vintner, yeah.
Jacques, but with so many wine farms out there and so many labels, I mean, what do you have to do to make an impact? I mean, you're obviously passionate about,
Yeah.
you know, the wine business, not just wine making.
Yeah.
You know, what is the approach?
I think the first purchase we always talk about is the outside of the bottle. So we actually, we do tend to spend quite a lot of time in our design process, which we are very much involved with. We conceptualize a lot of our own labels, but we do use a design company to put it all together. And then obviously the wine needs to be good. And we're very lucky to be in Franschhoek. I think Franschhoek tends to get overlooked. There's a lot of big brands there that Franschhoek is only so big, so the guys need to look outside of Franschhoek to source fruit, to keep their brands going. But that opens a lot of doors for us as well. You know, Franschhoek has got some of the oldest vines in the country. There's fantastic old Semillon, there's beautiful Chenin Blancs, and there's quite a lot of good Shiraz in the valley. So I think your wine should have a sense of origin, and ours is Franschhoek for now.
How long have your company been going? What's it, 2 years?
We first made wine in 2012, launched last year, and yeah, it's going lekker.
And you've made, you know, good inroads already in the
Yeah.
industry. The reason for that is because of the quality of the wine. And yeah, I mean, there's even though you say there's no real story, but it's people ask the question, you know,
Yes.
where does the name come from?
Yeah.
What is the story behind the label? And it's you know, it stands out and it's unique. Great. So you're not curious to know which wine I'm going to choose?
Yeah, it would be great to know, yeah.
Well, Jacques, you know, it wasn't an easy decision. I love the Sauvignon Blanc. I can have that any day. I'm a big fan of Sauvignon Blanc and yours. You have it in our restaurant as well in Franschhoek. The blend is my choice, though. I think it just works so well with this curry. Both wines can actually go with it, but I think this stands out way better for me. It's all that floral tones, like you said, that oiliness that sort of like coats your tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, I can have a big bowl of this curry and still be able to taste this wine, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, cheers to that.
Great. Cheers.